All right, well, hello and welcome. Super excited and honored to have you here with me today as we unpack the new 2020 SEO formula. We're really just going to be unpacking what you need to do today in today's environment with what's happening with the Google algorithm to get your plumbing, HVAC, or home service company website ranked on the first page in the first couple of results for as many keywords as possible, right? Because we know that when you rank, you're going to get more traffic, you're going to get more clicks, you're going to get more calls, and it's going to move your company forward, right? How many of you agree that it's a pretty important initiative to get ranked better organically in the search engines? Give me a yes, give me a thumbs up in chat, give me something just to confirm. Yes, we all believe that. I got a couple of hands up coming up. Erica says, hell yeah. All right, excellent. No doubt at all. So, as you know, this is part of your overall 2020 internet marketing plan. Earlier this year, actually in January, we went deep on your overall 2020 internet marketing plan, talking about your website, talking about your market positioning, talking about the big picture, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, email marketing, and it kind of broke down into this digital dominance method, right? The key things you need to do to really maximize your lead flow via the internet. So this is one part of the overall strategy, and I really think SEO is a big, important aspect. And when you rank better, everything you do works better. Your cost per lead is lower, and I'm going to show examples of that. Your lead volume is higher. I'm going to show examples of that. But you also want to have a diversified strategy, right? You want to have a great website that's built to convert. You want to be tapping into the paid advertising mechanisms like Google AdWords and Google Local Service Ads. You want to be doing some retargeting to bring people to the website. You want to have systems in place to follow up with and nurture the leads that you get that don't convert right out of the gates. So just make sure, be clear. Yes, SEO is important, but it's part of the overall big picture of how to really maximize your lead flow online. And if you missed one of those sessions, post in comments, hey, I'd like to see the 2020 plan training, or I'd like to go back and see the how to optimize for conversion training, or the how to get ranked better with local service ads and how to really maximize the ROI from LSAs. If you need any of that stuff, shoot us an email, ping us on Facebook, and we'll be sure to get you access to those resources because we want you to have everything you need to really succeed at the highest level possible. So I'm going to call for your attention now. You are here. I know that this is a chaotic time in history, right? A lot of us have been in quarantine, probably working from our homes for a couple of weeks or if not months now. I know you guys in the trades have had it a little bit more flexible because you're essential services and you have to get out there. But I'm sure you've been seeing lots of web-based meetings. You've been sitting in all kinds of, interactive meetings like this, and it's easy to get distracted. It's easier to kind of get zoomed out. And what I'm going to ask is, if you're here, just let's give this our undivided attention. Let's turn off our cell phones. Let's shut Facebook. If you're like me, I've got multiple screens. I got multiple tabs open. And if you're serious about really maximizing your results online, maximizing your rankings, let's give this next 60 to 90 minutes our undivided attention. Give me another yes if you're okay with that, if you're in with these ground rules, so we can make sure we all get the most out of today's session. So Robert says yes. Erica says yes. Okay, I got a bunch of yeses coming in now. Fantastic. So here's what we're going to cover on today's session. Today we're going to talk specifically about the latest changes with the Google algorithm. Like, things are constantly changing. I'm going to kind of bring you up to speed with what has changed. I'm going to talk about the most important things you need to have in place that could actually be hurting you. Things that you might have put in place in the past that might actually be bringing your rankings down, that you want to be aware of because you might need to shift, you might need to pivot, you might need to crawl back some of that stuff that's happened in the past. And really, we're going to talk about how to optimize your website using the new SEO formula, the latest things that have changed that you can do both on your website itself and off the website in terms of your authority positioning to really maximize your rankings and maximize your results online. So just real quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Josh Nelson. I'm the founder of Plumbing and HVAC SEO. I'm the author of this book, How to Triple Your Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Right. It is the top-selling book on internet marketing for plumbing, HVAC, and home services. We're actively involved in PHCC, QSC, Nexstar, ACCA. I've spoken at a lot of the events across the industry. I think I'm widely accepted as one of the top experts in online marketing for plumbing, HVAC, and home services. But I'd say probably more important than any of that stuff is I've worked hands-on with hundreds of plumbing, HVAC, and home service companies across the country. Taken many of them from virtually, no presence, no lead flow on the internet to now where they're the dominant players in their market. Ranking number one for lots of different keywords, generating hundreds. I'm going to show you examples, hundreds and hundreds of leads via the internet every single month. And I'm honored to say that we've seen a lot of our clients, a lot of the people I've worked with hands-on, go from where they're at to millions of dollars in revenue growth, and really adding 5, 10, 15 trucks to their operation as a function of getting their internet marketing dialed in. So what I'm going to share with you is not based on theory. It's not based on a blog that I read on SEO Journal or something. It's based on implementing these ideas and strategies in plumbing, HVAC, home service companies just like yours with proven results. And I promise throughout today's session, I'm going to be sharing real examples. That way you can look at them and you can see the real world aspect of how this plays out in a real plumbing, HVAC company just like yours. And I will say this is what we do, right? My company, Plumbing and HVAC SEO, all day, every day, day in, day out, we eat, sleep, and drink getting results for plumbing, HVAC, and home service companies online. And I've got a team of 30 full-time employees, people that do content, people that do SEO, people that do link building, people that do citation development, people that run pay-per-click campaigns. And we're on a mission to help triple the sales of 1,000 plumbing, HVAC, and home service companies over the next 5 years. So, inherently, that's what we do. If you'd like to talk with us about how we can implement these ideas for you, how we can help set up your website and do your SEO and run your online marketing strategies, we'd love the opportunity to talk. Christian is in the chat. So if you just personal message Christian Ortega, who's in here, and say, hey, Christian, I'd like to schedule a time, that would be the best path forward. So that's my only sales pitch in this entire presentation. The rest of this is going to be information-based. But if you'd like help, right, if you'd like to have us implement these strategies for you, reach out to us. We'd love the opportunity to help you get the maximum results from your internet marketing and your SEO strategy as a whole. So let's dive in. The first thing you probably are wondering is, does SEO even still matter, right? We all know the Google algorithm has completely changed, right? We know that Google is serving completely different results than they did in the past. So I'm just going to pull up a search here. As an example, if we go to Google right now and we type in Miami plumber, I'm in Miami, you can see, if I kind of zoom in a little bit, what we used to see is completely different, right? It used to be all organic and then maps, and then it was pay-per-click at the top and then over on the sides. And now Google's got local service ads up here, they've got pay-per-click listings, and they're moving the organic results further and further down the page. And it's even more evident on a mobile, right? If you run that same search from your mobile phone, the organic listings are you got to scroll a couple times to get to it. And so that does beg the question, should we even be spending time or attention on SEO? Does it, do people still click the organic results? Do people still call from the organic listings? And I guess what I'm going to say is that while the SERPs have changed, the search engine results pages have changed, what we know is that still 71% of searchers prefer to click on the organic listings. Like they're 71% of the time we're going down to the map and the organic results below the map. Would love to hear what your guys' thoughts are on this. When you run a search, and just take yourself out of the equation, but if you're looking for a local restaurant or if you're looking for a local service provider unrelated to yours, just type in paid or organic. Assuming you're cognizant of the difference, what are you typically clicking in the results? Paid or organic? I'm doing a little poll here for you guys. Robert says maps. Liana says organic. Local and organic says Amir. Morgan says organic. Greg also organic. So yeah, the reality is the SERPs have changed. The organic results have moved down, but people are still clicking, and you're still clicking the organic results. Right? It's almost like when you take out a magazine, which who reads a physical magazine these days? But let's say you take out People magazine and you're flipping through. Yeah, there might be more ads than ever in People magazine, but for the most part, you're reading for the content. You're reading for that cool article about whatever it is you wanted to learn. And that's the same for your searchers. It's the same for the person that's looking for your plumbing, HVAC, or home service. They're going directly to the organic results. And to kind of further that, yes, they're clicking on the organic results, but they're also focused predominantly on the first 5 listings. 67% of the clicks go to the first 5 listings. So let's look at that search again, right? We type in, let's just change this up. Let's type in Orlando plumber. We've got the local service ads up along the top. We've got the pay-per-click listings. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? These are the 67% of the traffic goes to these 5 results. So if you're further down the page, right? If you're down in the 6th, 7th, 8th, bottom of the first page, potentially on the second page, you're missing out on the lion's share of the traffic. You're missing out on the lion's share of the opportunity. So it's important to recognize, yes, people are still clicking in the organic listings, but most of it goes to the top 5 results. And so yes, SEO still matters. Let me give you an illustration. Let me give you an example of this in the real world. So one of the companies we work with is the Meridian Advantage. They're based in East Lansing, Michigan. They're full service, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, remodeling service provider. Over the years, we've done a lot of work to optimize their website to get it ranked on the first page. We're going to unpack the exact strategies that go into getting your website ranked on the first page. But if we run a bunch of searches, plumber, plumbing, water heater repair, AC installation, heating repair, kitchen remodeling, they come up very strongly in those top 5 results. And we're very cautious of our tracking, right? We want to know how many people are getting to the website, how many leads, how many calls are coming in. And so we track, this is a dashboard we provide to all of our clients, and we track number of leads based on source. So how many leads came from SEO, how many came from pay-per-click, how many came from Google Maps, how many people submitted web forms. And you can see that they had 417 leads come in, and that's from all the different stuff, SEO, organic, pay-per-click. And it kind of breaks down here along the bottom. You can see their total investment in online marketing, which is our management fees for SEO and content development, as well as pay-per-click advertising, is about $8,000 per month. So if we divide that out, they're at an average of about $19.32 per lead, which is really on target for them in their market. They're really happy with that. They're continuing to scale that number up. But the purpose, really what I want you to see here, is that organically, 95, so that means somebody clicked on a non-paid listing, got to the site, picked up the phone and dialed in, or they called directly off Google Maps, right? So those are what I consider to be both organic. They're not paid, right? There's effort that goes into positioning your company or positioning your website so that it comes up in those results. That's 65% of their call volume directly from organic. So the point I really want to drive home with this initial case study, this initial example, is that yes, SEO still matters. Yes, the algorithm has changed. Yes, Google has moved down the organic results. But you can't rely on just paid results. You can't just do local service ads, right? You want to do all of it, right? You want to maximize your lead flow online. But if, for instance, Meridian didn't have strong organic rankings, they'd be giving up almost 65% of their lead flow. So yes, it's very important. Yes, you want to make sure you understand the way SEO works. You want to understand the latest changes in the Google algorithm, and you want to be putting your best foot forward to rank in those non-paid listings. Does that make sense? Kind of post in comments for me, yes, that makes sense. I get it. Something like that, or something that stood out to you from that initial example there. Makes sense. Yes. Okay, got lots of yeses coming in. Makes sense. Great. Okay. Fantastic. So let's talk about some of the big changes, because what was working in SEO a year ago, 2 years ago, isn't working the same way now. So here's some of the big things that have changed. First of all, you can't get away with duplicate content anymore. I'm going to talk about what I mean here, but there was a time, plumbing, HVAC, home services was notorious for, let's create pages for all of our services, let's create pages for all of our cities, and then let's just clone out different versions of the page with very similar content. Well, Google made some changes to the algorithm where it's looking for that duplicate content. And that duplicate content, if you still have it on your website, could actually be pulling your website down. It could be negatively impacting your results. The second is low quality links back to your websites could really hurt you. Right? There was a time not that long ago where the most important thing in ranking your plumbing, HVAC, or home service website was, do you have a page with a title tag that says your keyword, and then do you have more links than the competition, right? And whether you did this yourself or you hired a third-party contractor that did it for you, a lot of them were just getting a bunch of garbage links pointing back to the site and being able to show, hey, look, you rank for all of these different keywords. And the fact is, if you haven't dealt with that, you've probably seen a depression in your rankings and a depression in the lead flow that you're getting from organic search. Number 3 is you have to have a real physical office where you want to rank on maps. So, I'm just sharing some of the gotchas that I see in this industry that come up again and again and again. A lot of home service companies have been, you know what, I want to rank in my main city and I want to rank in all these surrounding towns. And so I'm going to set up P.O. box addresses, or I'm going to set up my aunt's house and I'm going to put that on Google Maps, and I'm going to, do a pin, and ideally I'm going to rank in all of these different areas. Well, Google has really put the kibosh on that, and their systems are much better at recognizing, is there a physical address there or not, and penalizing companies that have a lot of fake listings. And so, you have to have a strategy to make sure you actually have a location in the area where you want to rank, and a lot of authority and a lot of citations to make sure that you're ranking in those results. And the fourth is site speed matters. It really matters more than ever before. It used to be you could just throw up a WordPress site, leave it bloated, leave your image sizes large, and it didn't really matter one way or the other. In today's environment, I'm going to share specific examples and specifics on this stuff. But if your website is not loading quickly from desktop and mobile, that's absolutely going to be hurting the way that you rank in organic results on the search engines. So let's dive in. So you can't get away with duplicate content anymore. What I find is most plumbing and HVAC companies that serve between a 25 to 50 mile radius, where there's lots of little cities and lots of little towns. So let's just use Orlando as an example. You'd have Orlando Plumber be the focus for the website. And then, I want to rank in Kissimmee, I want to rank in St. Cloud, I want to rank in 17 or 18 little cities and towns around my main metropolitan area. And a very common strategy in the past was, okay, let's create pages for each one of those, and let's just take our main, plumbing page and put it there, but change just the city. So change Orlando to St. Cloud, change Orlando to Kissimmee, for example. And you used to be able to do that and get ranked. But now Google's actually penalizing sites that have duplicate versions of the pages. So if you're going to do that, I still recommend doing it. We do it for all of our clients. You have to make sure that the content from one city page to the next is different and unique. Right? It has to be custom written from one city to the next, from one service page to the next. So just making sure that you've got original content. Yep, that's right, Scott, original content. So really what you want to do is you want to go back, you want to look at those pages on your site, make sure that it's got unique content, and then make a decision. One decision is rewrite the content, right? And there's cost associated with it. There's time associated with doing it. But if you rewrite the content and it's unique, it will put you back in Google's good graces. If you can't do that, and sometimes it just is easier, let's just remove those pages from the website. Let's remove the bloat and keep the actual authentic content, the actual authentic pages that are relevant and unique. And when we do that, a lot of times we see that those sites start to move back in the right direction in search. So it's really important, unique content from one page to the next, from one city to the next, from one service to the next. And you want it to be at least 70% unique. So yes, you can have a similar call to action from one page to the next. You just can't have the entire content with one keyword swapped out. The second is lots of low quality links, right? This was actually a function of the Penguin update. It used to be all about the links. When Penguin update addressed that, if you had links from things other than local websites, things relevant to home services, that actually negatively started to impact your search results. And so what I really suggest you do is that you have someone take a look at your link profile. And there's great tools for this. You can use Ahrefs, you can use Majestic SEO, and basically these tools let you put in your website URL, and it will spit out a report that says, here's all of the links that your website has, and here's all of the linking domains, right? And if there's a bunch of spammy, non-relevant links, you need to reach out to those websites and ask to have yourself removed, or do we call a disavow process through Google Webmaster Tools and point out, all right, here's our negative links that we know we need to deal with. And we've seen it. We've taken on a lot of plumbing HVAC clients where they used to be dominant in their market, and then sometime in the last 12 to 24 months, they fell off, right? They fell off the first page. In some cases, they kind of just feel like they've disappeared from the internet altogether. And a lot of times it's about those two problems, right? It's about either duplicate content, we got to clean that up, or it's about bad links, right? And we got to clean that up. In some cases, it's just so bad, you're better served just to start in a new domain and abandon ship on the website that you had prior. So that's change number 2. Pay attention to your link quality. Take care of the bad links and get yourself back on the right footing going forward. So number 3 I talked about was that you have to have a real physical address to rank well in maps in the city that you want to rank in. So if you're in Orlando and you want to rank for Orlando plumber, you need to actually have a listing that's in Orlando. And if you played shenanigans in the past where you set up your aunt's house in Kissimmee and your uncle's house in St. Cloud, and maybe you put a fake P.O. box address somewhere, you want to stop doing that. I mean, Google has really improved their mechanisms to track this type of activity down. And you want to clean up the fake listings. You want to go onto Google My Business, Google Maps Maker. You want to find those locations. You want to mark them as closed. You want to merge them into your main listing. There is a process to be followed, and you can get this back on the right track. But to the extent that you've got duplicate listings, fake listings, not only do those not rank, but oftentimes your true legitimate listing winds up taking a hit or falling off maps altogether throughout the process. So you really want to pay close attention to that. So if you want to rank, you need a real location in the true location where your company is listed. Took a major toll. People, UPS stores. It used to be you could get away with like a virtual office or a mailboxes, etc. Really, even those are not really performing well at this point. There are certain virtual offices that maybe aren't Regis or aren't the big players that you can get away with. But my best suggestion is get a real warehouse, get a real location, make a little bit of an investment, and build your location around that, as opposed to trying to go on the cheap, or worse, trying to do shenanigans just to try and skirt the system or try to sneak past with a fake location. The next is site speed matters, right? More than ever, how quickly your website shows up on desktop and even more so on mobile is mission critical. And it's having a really big impact on how well your website's going to rank. And so there's great tools like GT Metrics, and Google's got a tool called Page Speed Insights, free report. You go there, you put your website address, and it will tell you how quickly or slowly your website's loading. So an example of this, one of the companies we work with is Valley Plumbing. You can see if we run a GT metrics and a Page Speed Insights, they've got a 100 page speed. And I want to show an example because this is one of those things you might say, does it really matter that much? This page speed, does it really impact your search results? I'm going to pull up, oops, you know what? I'm going to pull up a report. So there's a company we started working with, about 12 months ago or so, and their name is Carmines. They're based in Dundalk. And you can see when we started working with them, their website was on WordPress, and it was a little bit slow. And it wasn't that it was like crazy bloated. It was just WordPress, the way that it is built, it has plugins, it's got things running in the background, and it suppresses your load speed. So, there's lots of things you can do to maximize load speed. You can compress your images, you can compress things in the background, you can put a great server stack in place. There's lots of server optimization elements that go into play to really enhance your load speed. And so we were able to do that, really optimize their hosting, optimize their load speed, optimize all of the elements that make the site load quickly. They went from about a 17-second load, fully loaded page, to 1 second. The file size went from 2.9 megabytes to 443 kilobytes. So big difference in load speed, both on desktop and mobile. They went from a D or a 68% to an A, 100%. They went from a 68% on mobile to an A. And so the question is, does that even matter? Does that even impact our results? Well, I'll show you they went from not ranking to being very well placed when we type in, Danbury AC repair, Danbury heating repair, Danbury HVAC contractor. You can see very strong rankings both in maps and organically. And I found that it impacts both. Not only does it impact the organic results, which are below the maps, it really impacts your map rankings as well. And this impacted their lead flow, right? So, we look at last month, 283 leads via the internet on a $2,400 SEO expense, like on-page optimization, citation development, link building, online reputation management, site speed optimization. They generated 283 leads, SEO only, which comes out to an average of about $8.80 for an HVAC contractor, which is really, really good. I mean, you can really monetize leads at $8.80. So just an example, these are things that come into play that will really impact how well your website performs. And so, Christian, thanks for putting that link in there. You can run a site speed test on that link, or you can just type in a search, Page Speed Insights, and it will give it to you. I'd love to run a test for this. If anybody wants to see how they perform, let's pull this up. We'll do an example here real quick, and I'll kind of audit your website on the fly. So we got a bunch of you on. Put your website in chat and let us use you as a guinea pig on this front. I guess while we're waiting, I'll kind of show you. If we type in Orlando Plumber, one of the companies we work with is Shamrock Plumbing. And you can see there they are in the #1 organic spot, both maps and organic. I'll pull up their website. And while you guys are putting yours in, thank you very much. We'll talk about the on-page strategy. We'll talk about the off-page strategy, right? Title tags, H1 tags, unique content, pages for the cities, pages for the services. But I just want to kind of pull up here. If we put this website in and we analyze page speed, page speed matters. Unique content matters. So 96 on mobile and 100 on desktop. That matters, right? That has an impact on your results. So a bunch of you guys put in your stuff. This is awesome. I'll pull up a couple of your websites and kind of run through this real quick. Let's start from the top. 5-star HVAC contractors. I'll pull up your website. I'm going to put you into Page Speed Insights here while... Oops. Come on, copy and paste. That's annoying. 5-star HVAC, CONTRACT.com. All right, drive. So while that's running, let's pull up your site here. And we're going to go into specifics, but it is always good to have real examples as we go. I might have typed this wrong. 5-star HVAC contractors.com. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I might have put that in wrong. 5-star HVAC contractors. So I'm sorry if I was using it as an example and I put your domain in wrong. It was not intentional. So here's DAC air conditioning in Orlando. It's a good example here. Looks like some of the elements from the Shamrock site pulled in here. Okay, so Orlando AC repair up in the title tag. Usually you want to see Orlando something up here above the fold. So I'm not seeing its call out Orlando. Although it does have it here, air conditioning repair services, okay. Some good content. Let's see. Pages for AC installation. Service areas, looks like we got pages for each of these different sub-locations. What you might want to check is just to make sure that this content is unique from one city to the next. Oops. Once again. Let's put this into page speed insights. Let's type in AC. DC air. Let's see. Not seeing it come up. So this is probably, there's definitely some things you can do from an on-page optimization perspective, and from a content perspective, this definitely isn't hurting you. 24 out of 100 on mobile and a 74 out of 100 on desktop. Definitely want to look at how well optimized the website is for page speed. Hopefully this is helpful. I know a bunch of you guys put your domains. I did not mean to overlook anybody, but I just wanted to show you so go to Page Speed Insights. This is an impact. Look at your content on your page. Is it unique? And I'm going to talk more about the on-page stuff here in just a sec. So is it helpful to look at some examples? Give me a yes or a thumbs up if this is helpful, just to kind of see some real client examples. Morgan says yes. Okay, Greg says yes. Okay, great. All right, so what else has changed? A lot of the old-fashioned SEO just isn't as effective as it once was. In the past, it was about just get the keywords in there. It was about, getting some links back to your website. Where now it's really more about user experience optimization. So if you think about your, load speed, why does that even matter? Well, it's because it's a user experience situation, right? Google knows that if they run a search and your website comes up quickly, that creates a better experience for the particular client, right? So some things you want to pay attention to, the new ranking factors. One of them is click-through rate, right? What percentage of the people that run a search are actually clicking through to your website? Google's paying attention to that. So you want to make sure that your title tags and your meta descriptions, which if you think about, title tag dictates what the page is about. Meta description really is kind of just an old SEO thing that most people stop paying attention to. Really what you have to do with your meta description is kind of sell the click. Like you want to sell why somebody should click you versus the other results on the page. So if we type in West Jordan Plumber, one of the companies we work with is Valley Plumbing. So you can see here they come up, right here on the top of maps. They come up right here organically a couple times. And you want this description, and if you can get the review snippet to come in, you want it to sell like why I'm going to click this site versus the other sites that are on the page. So this right here, I'm going to highlight it, is your title tag, right? So that's you're telling Google what that page is about. And then your meta description is you're trying to sell the click, right? Because click-through rate is super important. scroll rate. So that's optimizing the user experience, right? Making sure that once they get to the page, that they actually scroll a little bit. That little scroll aspect tells Google this is a relevant result. So you want to make sure your web page isn't just a flat panel, but it's got meat to it. There's content below the fold, and there's things that draw the eyeball down the page. So just as an example, so I'm going to click on this. Now I'm on Valley Plumbing's site, right? And I've got above the fold, but I've got this stuff below the fold that draws my eyeball down. You know what I mean? And scroll rate, people actually scrolling down the page, this impacts your results, right? And this is a great one that I'll use as an example because there's lots of good elements, and this site performs really well from an SEO perspective. Time on page, really important, which is how long is somebody staying on the website when they get there, right? There's a thing called bounce rate, which is somebody gets to the site and they hit back. And if you've got a high bounce rate, even if your click-through rate is high, that's going to negatively impact your search results. And so you want to think about ways to keep somebody on your site as long as possible. What we find is authentic imagery tends to draw the eyeball in, so real pictures of the real team, the real text. That's more interesting and engaging than a stock photo of a plumber. Like this is literally Robbie, one of the owners of the company, or the son of the owner, and this is their team, right? You can see this is Salt Lake City in the background. They serve the Salt Lake City area. There's content and visual cues that draw your eyeball and keep you on the page. If we go to their homepage, you'll see that there's multimedia, and I always recommend using some type of multimedia because it keeps you there. You want to watch this loop. You want to see the trucks, and you want to see what's happening. Like it keeps you on the page. So try and engineer reasons for someone to stay on that site and use video, use authentic imagery that impacts your user experience, which ultimately impacts your SEO. And then, of course, off-page ranking factors are the number of citations that you have, so references to your company's name, address, phone number. The number of reviews that you have is a big ranking factor, so you want to constantly be thinking about how do you automate the review request process? How do you create a world-class experience so that more and more people write reviews about your company? And relevant links. So you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater and say, well, links are bad. You have to have a smart way to build links that are relevant and authentic to drive your rankings. And we talked about this. You want to make sure that your website loads quickly, right, from a desktop and a mobile perspective. And we're finding is I'm going to talk about specific on-page stuff. I'm going to talk about specific off-page stuff. But really thinking about this user experience is what the new SEO formula is all about. It's really about engineering click-through rate. It's about engineering time on page. It's about engineering the scrolling down the page. And creating your website as the best result for Google to serve in your service area. So you want to figure out what the most important keywords are, right? And there's great tools for that, like Google Keyword Tool Planner, WordStream, SpyFu, Google AdWords Search Tool is probably one of the best, right? There's tools that we can research to figure out what are people looking for when they need plumbing, when they need AC, when they need other home service related services. And then we want to structure our website so that it speaks to those different keywords, right? So we have pages for the different services. We have answers to the questions. We have pages for each of the cities in our service area. We want to optimize for the user experience. We talked about the scroll rate, the visuals, and we want to optimize the on-page and off-page results. And from there, we want to track. We want to track how are we ranking. We want to track our click-through rate. We want to track our on-page. We want to track, ultimately, the result. And I've showed you a couple results as we go here. We want to track, like, how many calls are we getting? What's happening with those calls? Are they converting to leads? How effective is this? So we're just getting started here, but I want to hear from what we covered so far, the four things that could be hurting your rankings, as well as the new things you want to pay attention to. What are some of your takeaways? I just want to check in because I want to make sure you're getting what I'm putting down here. So in chat, what are some of the takeaways so far that we've covered on today's session? And we're going to cover more. Like, we've still got a lot more ground to cover. Scott says no duplicate content, making sure that the website's load speed is there, focusing on link quality, getting the link quality dialed in, perfect. Yana says really focusing on page speed, making sure that that website is loading quickly, making sure that the on-page optimization is strong. Michael says website might be too simple, might not be engaging enough to pull somebody down the page. Yana says dealing with the bad links, right? Doing some disavowing, getting some of those links removed. Fantastic. Good. Thank you guys for your feedback. I appreciate it. This helps me make sure that you're getting it and that I'm not talking, up here or down here at a level that's not really resonating for you guys. So let's press forward. So when we think about SEO, right, I showed you some examples just for, city plumber. Or we talk about city AC repair. Well, the reality is people are typing in a lot of different keywords when they need your service. If you're plumbing, they might type in plumbing. They might type in bathroom remodeling. They might type in sewer repair. They might type in repiping, right? So you want to make sure you've got a keyword list that is relevant to what people are actually searching. And we update this on a very consistent basis. We're doing our research through all of the tools, WordStream, Google Search Planner, Majestic SEO, to really figure out what are the most common keywords and which of those keywords have the highest relevancy. And so, Scott, we've got a list of the most commonly searched HVAC keywords as well. So if you want, Christian, if you could drop these links for them into the panel, and I'll send this as an email after today's session so you can go back and access this. But you want to think about what are the most common key terms that people are typing in when they need your services, because that's where you start, right? With clarity on what they're typing in, then you can create content and create your website structure so that it touches on all of those different keywords. So clear on the services, clear on the keywords that we want to target, we got to do on-page optimization. So setting up our website so that it can be put in the search results for those keywords that we want to rank for. So a couple, right? We want a strong website with good content and a good user experience. We want to leverage multimedia, so that's pictures and video, authentic pictures and video, to optimize our time on site. We want to have pages for all of the services, right? It's not just plumbing. It's not just AC repair. It's the different services that you provide: drain cleaning, backflow inspection, backflow certification, water heater installation, water heater repair, burst pipe repair, right? If we want to rank for all of those, we need pages with unique content for each. We also want pages for each of the cities that we operate in. So if we're in Salt Lake City, but we happen to serve West Jordan, Sandy, all of those little cities and towns, we need pages with unique content on each of those. So it's really important that it's unique and that we use a tool like Nearby Now or something to pass geo-modified content back to those pages. So I'm going to share some examples of this visually because I know I'm talking a little bit abstract here. Absolutely unique content for each page, keyword in the title, keyword in the H1, meta description that sells the click, a reason for somebody to click through, name, address, phone number in the footer, and blogs that are being updated on a consistent basis with syndication. So I'm going to talk for a minute at the end here about syndication because this is part of the new SEO formula. One of the things we don't want to just blog. We want to blog with purpose, right? We want our blog content to get picked up and to actually pass value back to our website. And we want to focus on on-page optimization. So I'm going to pull up some live examples of this. I'll let you guys kind of pop your websites in as well so we can kind of give you some live feedback. So let's use Valley Plumbing as an example, since I was just using them as an example a couple minutes ago. If we go to Google and we type in, so they're in Sandy and West Jordan. So let's just type in West Jordan Plumber. And they've got a couple different locations, but here they come up number one on maps, number one organically. And I'm not going to spend 20 minutes here, but I could literally type in 100 different keyword combinations in and around the greater Salt Lake City area where they're dominantly ranked on Google. And the reason for that is we're talking on-page optimization here, right? I already showed you fast load speed, right? I think I showed this website from a fast load speed perspective. Let's just run this in the background while I walk you through the on-page optimization. So we want it to load fast. We want to leverage multimedia. So you can see here, not all of us have the financial resources to create this kind of video, but video content is compelling. It makes somebody want to stay on the page. Really getting our keywords in the title tag up here, this area up at the top. Keywords in the H1, right? Good, unique content that speaks not to the search engines, but speaks directly to the consumer, right? This doesn't read like Salt Lake plumber, plumber in Salt Lake, plumber, 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 right? It speaks to the consumer. It answers their questions because we don't just want rankings. We want rankings that convert into leads and to calls, right? But then we want two other things I talked about, right? Pages for the services, right? So in drains, they do hand sinks, they do hydrojetting, right? So let's go Salt Lake City hydrojetting. This is a unique page that speaks directly to that search volume, to that search term. So if we go to Google and we type in, assuming I spell hydrojetting right here, Valley Plumbing, #1 result, right? And that's because this page is the most relevant page in the search results for hydrojetting, right? We get here, trusted Salt Lake City hydrojetting services with a unique image, unique content about hydrojetting in their service area, and unique content about why to choose them. And we do that for all of the services, right? Kitchen sinks, video sewer inspection. Within plumbing, we've got faucet repair, water heater repair, mainline repair. And so I don't want to go too in depth here, but let's just click tankless water heaters, right? Dependable Salt Lake City tankless water heater installation and repair, right? If we scroll down, there's a unique page with unique content with the title tag speaking to that particular term, right? And so you want pages like this for each one of your services, and then you want pages for the cities that you serve, right? And they serve a very wide area. I usually recommend creating pages for the top 10 cities that you operate in. So in their case, there's lots, right? You got Alta and West Jordan and Sandy and South Jordan and everywhere in between. So I'll just click here. So this is a page specifically targeting Sandy, right? So up in the title tag, it says Sandy Plumber, and then repeats their company name in Utah. Sandy Plumbing, Water Heater Repair, Drain Cleaning Services. We're kind of going after that Sandy area. Sandy is a place in Utah. And then unique content. This is different from one city to the next, and that's really important. It can't be the same exact content. And then we use this tool called Nearby Now, which their technicians, as they go out into the field, are providing service, right? And so 9 hours ago, somebody was in Sandy doing a kitchen sink that was plugged, right? And Nearby Now can be used one of two ways. It can be used as an app that the technicians install on their phones. They check in, and then they type a description, and then automatically through shortcode syncs back to these city pages on the site. This is a powerful shortcut to get ranked in a lot of cities and towns. In their case, not only is it happening where it syndicates out to these pages on the site, but it's happening automatically because they use Service Titan, which a lot of you guys are familiar with Service Titan. I think it's an amazing platform for managing your dispatch and managing your projects. So instead of them having to check in because it's integrated with Service Titan, every time they close a job in Service Titan, it creates a check-in, right? And then it also automates a review request process. And so that's how we can get them ranked, because we've got a great website with unique content for all the cities, all the services, very optimized for the user experience, optimized for great load speed, and lots of unique geo-modified content. So let's just type in Sandy, Plumber. There's Valley Plumbing on maps in a variety of different areas. They're also playing in the local service ads game. And the #1 organic listing here above the fold and above everything else, right? And it's because those two, all of those factors I just talked about. And a big part of it is online reviews, right, to the specific location where they have a facility. So if they've got a facility in Salt Lake, they've got a facility in Sandy, they've got a facility in West Jordan. And so we've got unique pages and unique content for each of those. Let me know if I'm going too technical. So type in comments, too technical if this is too technical, or good if we're talking the right language and this is useful for you guys. Okay, Erica says good. Thank you. Scott says schema markup for reviews on the internal page. Good, good, good. All right, lots of goods coming in. Does anybody want me to pull up your website? Just kind of looking through the filter of what we've talked about here. On-page optimization, load speed, title tags, H1 tags, unique content. Put your website in, and I will pull it up. Vander Bosch. Okay, let's pull that up. VANDERBOSAS. Jeez. VANDERBOSCH.com. Hopefully I spelled this right, because for some reason it's not letting me copy and paste. There we go, Vander Bosch. And then I'll also do Air Doctor. Would love to do all of yours. As a matter of fact, if you'd like us to do this for you, like this is something we do completely complimentary, and we'll go much deeper. Like if you'd like us to look at your website, I can't do all of you right now on this call. Send a message to Christian. Let's schedule a time. We will run a ranking report for you, show exactly where you rank. We'll do a deep dive on your website, your load speed, your on-page optimization, and we'll tell you, hey, look, here's what's good. Here's where there's room for improvement, and here's what you need to change. If you'd like our help, here's how much it costs. Right? Does that sound like a fair exchange? So I'm going to pull a couple of these up while we're going, but we can go much deeper in a one-on-one and really unpack it for you. So, all right, so here's Vander Bosch. I'm going to look at the title tag first. It says Vander Bosch Plumbing, Plumbing Chicago. So we've got Chicago being the target. Vander Bosch Plumbing is Chicago's plumber, right? This is just in text. I prefer to see it be an H1. So an H1 tag, you're telling Google that this page is about Chicago plumbing services, right? So let's just type in Chicago plumber. I don't anticipate Vander Bosch ranking in this, and if we were going to do a deep dive, I would probably pull together a list of 100 keywords relevant to plumbing in and around Chicago and the Chicago suburbs and show you exactly where you rank for all of those. But I would recommend getting the keyword into the title and the H1 on this page. I would probably recommend making some tweaks to the meta description. And then, let's see, do we have pages for the service? We've got water heaters, steam boilers, sewer and drain. So let's do sewer and drain. We do have a page for it. Let's see, title says sewer and drain Vander Bosch Plumbing Company. And then it just says it at Vander Bosch, blah, 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 blah. So you want it to say Chicago Sewer and Drain Services in the title. And then right here in the H1, you want it to say something like your Chicago Sewer and Drain Experts, right? And then unique content, maybe a little bit more, right? You probably want 500 to 900 words on a page. That way it's got more context. And, use your H1s, use your H2s, use your content heading tags to tell Google that these certain keywords are more important than others. That will definitely help with your SEO rankings. And then if I'm looking at service area here, we've got basically one page that is an image of all the services, right? And if, let's just say we wanted to rank in Evanston, and I might be going too wide here, but just as an example, we want to rank in Evanston, Elk Grove, Melrose Park, Oak Park, Cercerio, Berwyn. We'd want a page for each one of those with unique content, title tag, H1 tag, nearby now with, geo-modified content hitting the page. All of those things will absolutely impact how well this website ranks and performs. Now, on a speed test, we're at 53, so that's not ideal. We want that to be in the 90s on mobile and 74 on desktop. So you've got some work to do from a site speed optimization perspective here. Hopefully that was helpful. Kind of give you a little bit of context, some ideas here on how to improve. Let's see, the Air Doctor. Thanks for volunteering your website. The original Air Doctor of South Florida. Okay, Air Doctor Services. So South Florida is a little bit broad. And really, I'm in South Florida, so I know most people won't type South Florida when they need AC repair. They'll type in West Palm Beach, or they'll type in Boca Raton, or they'll type in Fort Lauderdale or Miami. So saying South Florida is a little bit too broad. So we'd want this to say more like West Palm Beach, air conditioning repair and refrigeration. It looks like, because you're doing refrigeration. This H1, you want to geo-modify it, right? Get the West Palm Beach or some other modifier here on this page. That will definitely make this site better optimized for ranking in the organic results. So we got air conditioning, refrigeration, ice machines. So let's look at all of these. Just take me to a get a quote. Okay. So if you wanted to rank for West Palm Beach refrigeration, West Palm Beach ice machines or ice machine repair, you'd want a page uniquely speaking to that on this site instead of just one general service page. And it seems like you want to cover all of South Florida. So it sounds like, if I'm reading this right, you want to rank in West Palm Beach, Waxahachie, Boca Raton, and everything in between. To do that, you want pages for each one of those in order to rank better in the results. So hopefully that helps, guys. Looking at this from now, there's 1,000 things you can look at from an SEO perspective. But if you just think about the 80-20, like, is my keyword in the title? Is it in the H1? Do I have pages for my services? Do I have pages for my cities? Is my site loading relatively quickly? Is there like a reason for somebody to stay on the page for a long time? So Air Doctor, you want to look at load speed here. 34 on mobile, 83 is pretty good on desktop, but you want to think about how well this website loads from a mobile perspective. Helpful to see some examples outside of ours. Just sometimes looking at it, not from the perfect case, but here's a broken case where there's room for improvement, and here's what we would do. So you can kind of see what I would suggest in your case. Helpful, give me a yes, it's helpful, or something if this is useful. Okay, great. Good. And so for those of you that wanted us to do it and we couldn't do it right now, please fill out the plumberseo.net/schedule, and we'll do an analysis for you, no charge, and we'll go deep and really walk you through this. So, coming back to the Valley Plumbing example, so a lot of keywords, right? West Jordan plumber, Sandy plumber, drain cleaning, water heater installation, water heater repair, everything in between, really ranking pretty well. And here's the numbers, right? $10,000 investment, 460 leads via the internet. This is on a month, right? I'm not talking about quarter. This is on a month. Average of $23 per lead, 329 organic, 36 from Google Maps, right? So just from a organic SEO perspective, their average cost per lead is about $9.02. How do you think you could monetize $9.02 plumbing leads? I think all of you would absolutely say yes. And this is the formula. Like this, you have to have a good website that's really optimized, load speed, user experience, great content, pages for the cities, pages for the services. You can get ranked well and generate a nice volume of leads. So I'll give another example. So this is a company we work with in Reno, Nevada. Actually, they're in Sparks/Reno. So if I run that search, you can see Ira Hansen Plumbing comes up. We've been working with them for going on 3 years now. When we started, they were nowhere to be found on the first page. Like, they just didn't have a great strategy. The site wasn't optimized for search. Now I can run a dozen different searches, and I'll show you in Reno and Sparks, which is basically their core service area. They've got dominant #1 ranking. So just to show you, right, title tag right on the nose, right? Reno plumbers, plumbing services, Reno, Nevada, right? And then the H1, this is what I'm talking about when I say H1, your trusted Reno plumber, right? With unique content, some authenticity here, reason to scroll down, reason to see more. And then pages for each of the services, drain cleaning, sewer line repair, repiping, right? So Reno repiping services. And then pages for the surrounding cities, right? The surrounding cities and towns. Not as many in the Reno area, right? Reno, Spanish Springs, Sparks, and Stead, right? So it's kind of a strange geographic area, but pages for each of those with unique content really serves to get these websites ranked well organically. And And that's kind of the play. I showed Shamrock Plumbing a little bit. I'll just show 410 leads, $3,000 investment in SEO and paid search, an average of $7.53 per lead, right? And so when you can generate this volume of lead at a reasonable cost per lead, you can really keep the trucks running, you can keep the phones ringing, and really grow and scale your business. So I want to hear a couple of takeaways. This is on page. We're going to talk about off page here in a second. What are some of the takeaways in terms of what we covered here on page? Title tags, H1 tags. What can you implement in your plumbing, HVAC, or home service business as a function of what we've covered here? What will you do with it? Scott wants to know how to learn more about Nearby Now. You go to nearbynow.co. Jim, great to have you with us, Jim Coyle. Seems like your questions are getting buried. I'm sorry, man. There's tons of comments. I'm just trying to find the ones that I see right on the top. Robert says unique city pages, good idea. Add city and service to the landing pages, good idea. Excellent. So let's shift to off page, because here's the deal. What you do on the website itself, title tags, H1 tags, content, meta descriptions, is only a small part of the battle. Right? It's important. It's what dictates whether you're in the search results for it or not. But really what's going to determine who ranks number 1 versus number 7 versus number 55 is the amount of authority that the page has. So let's talk about what you can do off of your website. That is what really impacts the rankings and results. So the first is having a claimed and optimized Google My Business listing. You do that at google.com/mybusiness. You want to have citations, which are references to your company's name, address, and phone number on lots of different online directories. So you want to be on Google, Angie's List, City Search, Best of the Web, Hot Frog. There's thousands of online directories, and the key is you want to be in those directories with the same exact name, address, phone number. That passes authority, it passes relevancy back to your website, which ultimately helps move you up in the search results. You want to build up your online reviews. I talked about this. Having more reviews than the competition is one of the strongest indicators of authority. So using automation tools like Nearby Now, Bird Eye, Review Buzz, Customer Lobby, Podium, these tools are a dime a dozen. The important part is to make sure that there's an automatic review request going out after every service call that can help your customers easily click the button and get to your website and write a review. Right? And we want those reviews to happen in public places. We want those reviews on Google. We want those reviews on Angie's List. We want them on Facebook, right? So we want to have systems to create great service and to get reviews happening on a consistent basis. The other thing we need to do, and this is the harder, more nebulous task, is building links and authority. So links from other websites that are relevant back to your homepage, back to your service pages, back to your city pages. Right? There's a strategy that goes behind that. And what I think most of you guys miss, you plumbing, HVAC, home service companies, is you look at the facade, right? You look at the on-page site. Oh, I've got pages, I've got services, I've got all of that stuff. But what you don't see is the effort that needs to go into building authority, building links to the various sections of your site, which is ultimately what's going to move you up in the search results. And so I really think what you want to be doing is strategic content syndication. So this webinar is the new 2020 SEO formula, and something new that's really powerful is moving beyond the Web 2.0 blog, where you're just creating a blog post and calling it a day, to really syndicating your content. Here's my belief, and we're seeing, and I'm going to show examples of this actually having a huge impact on results, is that a simple blog post on your website won't cut it anymore. Doing one blog per month, copying, pasting it onto your website, and checking that box that said we created content really isn't moving the needle for you, right? It's an activity. It creates more content on your site, but what you need is more links. What you need is other news sources. What you need is other places across the internet linking back to your website, linking back to your Google My Business listing, linking back to those various service pages on your site. And so I don't want to get super technical because we've gone deep down the rabbit trail on this. Like, what is Google looking for? What's the secret sauce to get websites ranked, right, for plumbing, HVAC, home service companies. And really what we found is that it really is about EAT. It's an acronym called EAT, which is expertise, authority, and trust, right? We're already about an hour into today's session, so I don't want to get super duper technical, but if you look at the SEO periodic table, and I'll kind of pop back to this page in a minute, these are all the things Google is looking at to determine whether a web page is relevant, whether a website should rank or not. So we're looking at quality content, we're looking at what the crawl meta description is coming in, we're looking at multimedia, we're looking at page speed, we're looking at site structure, we're looking at whether it's optimized for mobile, how authoritative it is, how many links there are, what the user experience is, right? And this comes straight from SEO Journal and other resources like that. But EAT really is the quality of the content on the page relevant? Is it structured? Is it media rich with pictures and multimedia? Is it authoritative? So does it just sit on your blog, or does it sit on third-party relevant sites that also pass authority, like the local news sites, ABC, CBS News? And is it passing all of the citation and link resources? So again, these are the signals that Google is telling us is relevant for ranking a plumbing, HVAC, home service website. And beyond that, Google has what they call third-party reviewer factors. So a lot of times they have real people, humans, I'm sure they're international, that are looking at websites and seeing, okay, is this relevant? Is it legit? Is it authentic? Right? And this is straight from that process that those reviewers look at to determine what should be given preference over something else. And so I really think the main things we want to look at is proximity, right? How close are we to the search terms that we're looking to rank for? And so that's getting our keywords, our geo modifiers, our zip codes, our geo coordinates, like nearby now, into the content on the page. Is it relevant? So, are we speaking to what the person typed in? Is our content matching that? Is it speaking to the customer in a unique way, or is it just there for the sake of keywords in order to rank for a lot of different keywords? And then how prominent is it? And that's where this content syndication piece, what I'm about to share with you, comes into play. Because if you've just got content sitting on your website in a vacuum and there's not links pointing back to it, it's not being picked up by news sources, then it's not really going to move forward from a ranking perspective. And so what we're doing today, and really what we do for our clients, is we've shifted from just putting out blog content and saying, okay, we did 2 blogs this month, or we did 1 blog this month, and leaving it at that, is that we're actually pushing this content out, getting it picked up by news sources, showing our client website or your site as the source of that content, and then leveraging that one blog to get picked up in a lot of places and to get links pointed back to our homepage, to our service pages, to our city pages, to our Google Map listings. And what this does is it passes a lot of ranking and authority factors, right, which will move your website forward. So I don't want to go too deep down the rabbit trails, but so we've been looking at Valley Plumbing. We looked at the on-page stuff, which is great. It's the off-page stuff that really drives the results. So on most websites, I'm sure yours if you're not a client of ours, if you look at your blog, it's a place where content sits that doesn't get picked up in the search results, that really doesn't generate much juice for you from a ranking perspective. And so what we've done is we've shifted to a syndicated blog strategy. And so what that means is instead of just doing a blog, we're doing a news release, but listing the source as your company's website. So let's just do water heater repair or repairing a water heater leak, right? Typical blog would sit on a web page like this, might have a couple of links pointed back and forth, internal linking, maybe a little bit of external linking, some geo-modified content on the site. But let me show you what we're doing. So you'll notice on our client sites, if we hit distribution links, you'll see this content has been syndicated and is actually being picked up by news sources, which generates countless links, citations, ranking factors back to the client website. So let's just look at Fox 21 And you can see this same content has been syndicated out, but the important piece is that it's listing the source as the client website. So this isn't like a PR web release or something like that, where we're just putting it out to hundreds of places and the source is PR web. This is something that sits on our client website that's then getting released out via content syndication. And you can see now, I kind of showed you all of the different places where this gets picked up. We're strategically placing links back within the content that point back to our client's site and back to the various sections within their site. So residential plumbing, right? This is a link back to the residential plumbing services page on their site. So now we've got a bunch of places on the internet that are now linking back to that particular page, which passes juice back to that page. Not all of them are pointing back to the client site, because if we did that, it could create spammy link profiles. The other thing we do is a map embed. So we talk about links back to the homepage, to the service pages, to the city pages. Imagine diversifying your blogging strategy where you can create lots of links back every single month in this way, but then also getting a citation, right? Every time we create a blog post using this strategy, we're able to create lots of structured citations that reference our company's name, address, phone number on authoritative news sites, which then pass more authority, which then help get those map listings to rank higher. We've also got the map embed right here, where their actual geo-modified map data is sitting directly on the site. And so if you want to learn more about this, please reach out to us. We'd love to walk you through it. This is something we do exclusively for our clients, so it's not like we can just randomly do content syndication for you. But if you're interested in working with us, this is one of our ninja strategies that help get our clients ranked in the top couple of listings, right? Great on-page optimization, great off-page optimization, and strategic content syndication that move our client's site up because it has more relevance, because it passes the EAT criteria, which really moves the needle from a ranking perspective. And so some great examples of this, one of our clients that we work with is Fox and Son Plumbing Heating in Vernon, British Columbia. We started doing the content syndication strategy, and they moved up 151 spots, and 350 of their keywords that weren't ranking moved up into the first page within the results. Same thing here for Flow Plumbing in Brentwood, California. Coming up, on the first page, first couple of results for Brentwood Plumber, drain cleaning, repiping, gas line installation repair, 117 keywords from one section to the next. Oliver's Plumbing in Sun Prairie, Washington. Sun Prairie Plumber, drain cleaning services, water heater repair, sump pump repair. So, one of the key things I want you guys to latch onto that you need to be doing is not just putting up blog content, but putting up blog content and syndicating it so that you can build a preponderance of authority and links and citations back to your website, which is ultimately what's going to move you up in results. And so I'll be sending this out to you as a checklist after the fact. All the things you want to do on page, off page, to build your authority, to build your relevancy, and ultimately to build your ranking so that you get more leads, more calls, and more momentum. Hopefully this is helpful. I hope I'm not going too deep. Like I said, I haven't really gone this deep in the past, but I do want to give you guys insights and things that you can look at and say, wow, that's something we can do that would really move the needle from a ranking perspective for our company. Yeah, Scott, if you want to talk more about it, jump on a call with Christian. He'll walk you through it and talk, again, we only do this exclusively for our clients. So if you want help getting this in play, assuming you're in an open territory, we'd love to do that for you. So key things here, right? Set up a great website, pages for each of the services, pages for each of the cities, right? Not overcomplicating it. Getting our keywords with our cities in the title, in the H1. Making sure we've got unique content across the website, right? Pages that have unique content. Leveraging multimedia, getting reviews from across the web, building up citations and consistency of our name, address, phone number. Posting content on an ongoing basis and syndicating it out. So we can build authority, we can build links, we can build citations. leveraging paid search to identify some of the high converting keywords that we want to focus on. This is what's working really well. Hopefully I've painted a clear picture for you. I've given you some specific ideas, strategies, and techniques to go back and implement. I would love to hear from you in chat. What were some of your takeaways? What are some things you can go say, hey, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go implement this in my business. Or maybe, hey, I need to go learn more about that specific aspect. And of course, if you'd like help, like if you'd like to talk with us about implementing this for you, we'd love the opportunity to chat, right? So if you want to just put in, let's talk in comments, that'll be our heads up to say, hey, let's reach out to you. Let's schedule a time to talk. It will be a no pressure conversation, right? We take a very consultative approach. So if you're interested in learning more about us, our services, how we can do this for you, like we've done it for Valley Plumbing, Shamrock Plumbing, the Plumbing Doctor, and hundreds of other plumbing and HVAC companies in competitive markets across the country. What we'll do is we'll do an analysis of your online visibility. We'll develop a keyword list, kind of figure out what the most important keywords are in your service area, geo-concatenate it for you, and show you exactly where you rank right now. Right, here's where you're ranking page 1, here's where you're ranking page 2, here's all the keywords that you're missing out on, right? And usually it's the missed out keywords that represent lost opportunity, that represent the calls that you should be getting that you're not. Then we'll do an analysis of your consistency of your name, address, phone number, your online reputation, and really be able to show you, look, either there's room for improvement, and this is specifically where the problem is, and here's how we can help, right? So you're going to get value from the session one way or another. Like imagine what I did here for a couple of you in a couple of minutes, going deep. Like we will do our due diligence. You will get a detailed report. You'll have a lot of clarity on where there's room for improvement. And whether you want to take that back to your current provider or try and implement it on your own, that's fine. Or if you say, hey, look, how much would it cost to have you guys do this for me? What would that look like? We'd love the opportunity to have that conversation with you. So to set that up, to kind of claim this free SEO review, you can call us at 866-610-4647, or you can just go to plumberseo.net/schedule. Christian's put it in the chat. So if you go straight to plumberseo.net/schedule, ask you some questions about your website, kind of what marketing you're doing, what areas you serve, what services you provide, and it'll take you straight to the calendar where you can pick a time that works for you, and we'll get to work, right? We'll get to work running that report for you and showing you exactly where there's room for improvement and or how we can help. Good deal? Well, hopefully this is helpful. Give me a thumbs up or thank you, Josh, or something just to confirm this was useful. And if there's anything we can do to help or support you, please let me know. A couple of fantastics. Taylor, thanks, Josh. Also great information, extremely useful. Good, Stephanie, thank you. Jim, thank you. Erica says, thanks. Awesome. Great stuff. Well, thank you guys for attending. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your feedback. Let us know how we can help, and we'll talk to you soon.